We're still on Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/exoplanetary to get early access to episodes and let us know what extras you'd love to see. Prefer a one-time contribution? You can always buy me a coffee at ko-fi.com/Christopher Hart. That's ko-fi.com/Christopher Hart. It's basically rocket fuel for creating more of the stories you love. To everyone who helps make this show a reality and gets us in front of new listeners, thank you. Exoplanetary, the adventures of the spacefaring Wolverton family and their friends far in the future. Tonight's episode, Stargravy.
I was born a pioneer. My mother was one of the people offered a trip off the dying planet Earth. That first generation were told they would keep humanity going by colonizing the solar system. She met my father in those early elated days when living on the moon still seemed like a great idea. But the reality soon shook everyone awake. It was years before anyone would truly be able to rest. Like all of the first babies born on the colony, the lunar boom, I was scooped up and quickly placed into an educational cohort which my mother described as a kindergarten labor camp. We were going to be the next generation of worker bees, keeping everything moving, keeping our masters wealthy. Reading, writing, and assembling. Where do you find joy in such an impossible, unyielding life? By the time I was a teenager, the mining ships were finally built. They were named for 20th century Earth authors, the James Baldwin, the Gertrude Stein, the Maya Angelou, and my ship, the SS Ken Kesey. They made the slow trek to the asteroid field, drilled out anything precious, and loaded it into their massive holds. The process required over 200 souls to do the mining, but only a crew of 4 to keep the ship running. My first job was as a miner on one of those flights. I did 2 tours and returned home completely burnt out. It wasn't the work so much as the lifestyle. These mining jobs were actually quite competitive. People wanted them, not because they paid any better than any other jobs on the moon or even because they offered any security. It was 18 months there, 18 months back, and then you went on the waiting list for another tour and hoped you could find something in the meantime. But while you were on tour, you felt indescribably good. After the last tour, rather than put in for another, I applied for the job that nobody wanted, ship support crew. Every ship had a pilot, a co-pilot, a medical officer, and my job. I was the talent coordinator and stage manager. Originally, the idea was to have the miners sleep on the way to the asteroids, but that changed once they discovered Stargravy. It was a substance businesses had been looking for generations, an inexpensive source of nutrition that kept workers both productive and indefatigable. What would have been weeks of mining could be accomplished in 3 days. Costs were halved. Stargravy made everything possible. But Stargravy also had consequences.
Captain on the bridge!
At ease.
Medical officer's report. Dr. Rachel Stone.
Human resources appear to be resting and ready for the trip. We're at 248.
Nearly capacity.
There's always a straggler or two.
How's the Stargravy coming along?
It's in the fermenting stage. Should be ready to go in once we start waking people up.
Talent coordinator and stage manager's report. Amy, Wolfietown.
Wolverton.
Report.
The band's booked and they've been loaded into their sleep cells. I'll be waking them first to give them time to set up as usual. But there's actually something I had a question about.
This isn't question time, Wolverton.
No. What's your question?
The coordinates on the charts seem really off. I'm no navigator, but this looks like the Kesey isn't heading to the asteroid belt.
Is that right?
If you would simply wait for the co-pilot's report, you'd understand what was happening, Wolverton. The captain and I may be newly assigned to the Keezy, but I think we've earned the benefit of the doubt through years and years of service to the Lunar Merchant Marine. I will have you know that when I was...
Just tell them.
Aye, Captain. As you both know, up until now, the Keezy has primarily mined the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Until we have a permanent base on Mars, these trips will be necessary to bring resources to the lunar colony. This mission will be different. Early in this century, scientists discovered an object traveling through our solar system. It was named Oumuamua, the Hawaiian word for scout. It was the first interstellar object of its kind we'd ever seen. What it was exactly and where it came from has long been a source of speculation. In the decades since then, scientists have been looking for other objects of this kind. What you're seeing now is our sharpest image of Practical Pig, the largest in a trio of interstellar objects currently passing near the moon. The other two, Piper Pig and Fiddler Pig, are smaller and further away. But the Practical Pig is very large, nearly 6 miles across. As to what it's made of, that's difficult to say. We're to investigate the composition of the Practical Pig, mine it for minerals and whatever substances might be found, and return them to the colony. We must also keep the nature of the Practical Pig secret from all of the human resources on board.
Look, I'm raising my hand.
Yes, Wolverton.
Am I weird for thinking that sounds incredibly dangerous?
Yeah, I'd like to chime in on this. Has no one seen, literally every space movie ever?
Yeah, I'm getting big alien vibes from this Practical Pig. It doesn't end well for anyone in that movie.
Not even Sigourney Weaver. Think of all of the trauma and survivor's guilt.
Are we covered for all the therapy we're going to need after this?
Assuming we live?
Yeah, let's not lose focus on the part where something grabs our face and lays eggs inside of each of us, okay? I find the idea of that happening to me very unappealing.
Are you two finished?
No, but I think having a baby alien burst through my chest would finish me.
Captain, I'd like some support here.
Sorry, it was funny.
If the two of you are not interested in continuing on the Keezy, we're still docked. You're more than welcome to resign your commissions and seek new employment elsewhere.
Let's be nice, please.
Look, I get that it's probably just a big rock that we're breaking up into smaller rocks, but it would have been nice to have been told beforehand.
This was beforehand. Are you staying or going? Thought so.
Let's get moving.
Those two seem nice.
Hopefully I didn't just put my foot in it.
No, pilots tend to act like they're gods. They forget that's why we have doctors.
I suppose.
Speaking of which, what are you doing here? Last I checked, you were supposed to go on leave for... Oh no.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I'm so sorry.
When I first realized I was gonna have a baby, I was terrified. But I got used to the idea. I thought maybe I could make it work. Of course, it would be difficult, impossible. I'd have to find a different job. But millions of women have raised children, so why not me?
We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I should have known better.
It's fine, Rachel. I had some pain, and hearing that I lost the baby was difficult, but they told me that it was more complicated than that.
Oh no.
I'm just not set up to carry a kid to term, it turns out. I could get pregnant again, but it might be dangerous for me.
When did you find out about all of this?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? There's never a good time to hear any of that, but...
I don't want to think about it. I never resigned my commission because, back of my head, I knew that something like this might happen. I am glad I have all this to distract me. Really. I just want to work and not think. I have plenty to do getting ready for the festival. Don't want to think about it, don't want to talk about it. Please don't take it the wrong way.
No, I understand.
Captain, a moment of your time.
Go ahead.
Captain, I have served under you for a number of years. I think you would know me better than anyone by now. Lately, I have been feeling that the people who work under us have little or no respect for me. For a long time, I thought it was due to the poor quality of the people the company was hiring, but now I'm worried. Not worried. I'm concerned that it's actually me.
I see.
I try to do my very best, Captain Sir, and I take the greatest pride in my work, but I haven't felt the respect of my underlings in quite some time. And I was just thinking that there might be something that I'm missing, that you, in your vast experience and wisdom, might be able to advise me upon.
You should relax.
Relax, Captain Sir?
Yeah. Anything else?
I mean, I can relax. Relaxing is something I've often thought would be a vital use of my time. But, I mean, are you talking about a hobby of some sort? I think my grandfather was a stamp collector once. I don't think he brought any of his stamps to the moon. Come to think of it, I don't know if there are stamps on the moon. I mean, I've never gotten any mail.
Take an interest in other people. Ask them about their lives.
I see. What you're doing looks very interesting, Captain. What exactly is it you're doing?
It's called a crossword puzzle.
I see. Have you been doing it long?
No. May I get back to it? Please?
Yes, Captain. I'll leave you to it, sir. Wolverton, how are you doing today?
Just doing my rounds, Lieutenant.
Of course. I was just thinking what an interesting job you have, dealing with all those musical acts.
It's a living.
I'm kind of a music person, too. I have many recordings that I listen to. I like the Percy Faith Orchestra and Perry Como and Jackie Gleason.
Wasn't Jackie Gleason a 20th century comedian?
Possibly. I find comedy distressing.
Don't we all?
So, who is the musical act this tour?
They're called Seamus and the Star Barons.
That sounds nice. What do they play?
A little of everything, I suppose. I seem to remember them as a bit of a jam band. You know how it is during the festival. Nobody really cares as long as the music keeps coming, do they?
I've never actually been to the festival. I usually stay in the cockpit.
You're not missing much. Everyone eats some Stargravy, feels amazing, and eventually the dancing starts.
It feels amazing. How?
I'm not sure I can do it justice. If you ask me, you're better off without it. I spent years on the Stargravy, and all I have to show for it is a bit of a monkey on my back.
A monkey? Is he in your cabin?
No, Never mind. You're better off without the Stargravy, Lieutenant.
If you say so.
The festival begins 2 months before arrival. First, we wake up the band and help them with their sound check. Then Rachel and I slowly wake up each of the 248 miners. We reorient them by taking them into the cavernous cargo hold where they listen to the music and ingest their first dose of Stargravy. I have no clear memory of what Stargravy actually tastes like. As with everything you consume in space, you have to account for the lack of gravity. It's in a tube about the size and shape of a ballpoint pen, filled with what looks like a silvery gray gravy substance. You tear one end with your teeth, and you push it into your mouth by wrapping it around your finger. I have no clear memory because the moment it hits your tongue, you're already a little high. One of the many effects of Stargravy is that every sensation in your body switches to pleasure. So if you taste something unpleasant, you're suddenly tasting the most pleasurable thing ever. If you have a bad knee that's always sore, it becomes a radiating pulse of pleasure. If you have a migraine, you get a tingling sensation as if an electric angel is giving you a scalp massage. Meanwhile, whatever gives you physical pleasure, off the charts ecstasy. So much pleasure you simply cannot process the feeling. Good food, good music, good anything. Overwhelming. After the pleasure overload comes the surge of energy. Calling Stargravy a drug isn't the whole story. It's an engineered superfood that nourishes you and gives you almost unthinkable strength and stamina. Faced with this, the waking workers start to dance. But it doesn't end there. Stargravy is plentiful and easy to produce, so Rachel can mix it up and put it in the dispensers without fear of ever running out. The effect is cumulative. One dose is enough to keep someone energized and happy for a week. The company gives each of them a Stargravy tube once a day. The pleasure and the physical effects build to almost superhuman extremes. The festival continues for 2 months, 8 straight weeks of partying and dancing. The musicians, also full of Stargravy, are playing all that time without a break. It's the most decadent scene imaginable, like something out of a Hieronymus Bosch painting. When we arrive at the asteroid, these rough beasts begin mining. Many of them now able to work for a week straight without rest. The rock gets pulled apart like a roast chicken, the crumbled bits deposited in the place where they once celebrated. Their faces look half crazed, muscles taut from constant exertion, gurning with rapture and delight. It's frightening, thinking that I spent most of my youth looking just as gruesome.
This guy, you ever seen him play?
Plenty of times. I even remember a few.
I have to admit, he certainly looks the part. Those sideburns are vintage.
Rachel, meet Seamus Stargravy. One of the greatest guitar players on the moon.
How many guitar players are there on the moon?
I don't know. If they're any good, they work on the mining ships.
Listen, how's everything else going?
I'm fine. I've read dozens of books, taken long zero-G strolls through the ship. I'm thinking of learning to play bridge, actually. That is, if you think it's worth getting the pilot and co-pilot involved.
I'm willing to try. Looks like Seamus is waking up.
Good morning, Seamus. Good to see you still kicking around.
Rock and roll never dies, baby.
I like this music. What's your name?
Jethro, I like it too. What's your name?
I'm Misty. Is this your first tour?
That's my 5th. I love it.
Oh, that's my 6th. I'm going for the record.
Woo, what's the record?
8.
I dig it. This is awesome.
I can't stop. Won't stop. Woo! So good.
Woo-woo. Oh, you did it, boo. Hey, so whatever happened to the person who broke the record?
I don't know.
Are you getting plenty of sleep?
Trying to. The music never stops, so I only have to go down with the tranquilizer gun if things get too rowdy. But for the most part, they just want to dance all the time.
So what happens after you get to your asteroid?
They suit up, and by my guess, 3 days later we begin the process of getting each of them back into the sleep pods. Then I sleep for a week and prepare for the trip back.
Amy, couldn't you have at least called me and told me you weren't coming home?
I wasn't in my right head.
Don't you think I would have wanted to say something encouraging to you after you... Look, I get it. I really do. But I'm also your mother. I saw your father the other day.
How is he?
Still saving the world. I put in a shift and helped him cook dinner for about 100 people.
Good old Dad.
Yes, a living saint. Of course, the thing you learn from reading about the lives of the saints is that they were incredibly difficult people.
It's good to talk to you. This has been difficult. 2 tours as a minor, 2 tours on the crew, and I'm a washout.
You can always do something different.
It isn't that, it's... Look, maybe being around Stargravy while living sober is not the smartest thing for me, but seeing all these people, kids, most of them, it makes me think that it was for the best I didn't have a baby.
Why do you think that?
Because it makes me feel like someone who makes dumb decisions.
I guess I should be flattered if you think your mother never made any dumb decisions. I hate to break it to you, Amy, but I made plenty. So did your father. Granted, he made more, but...
I think you did a great job. I think I would be a shitty mother, and I'm kind of relieved I'll never know.
Sweetie, really, I'm heartbroken for you. And I agree that this is probably not the job for you. But you have to let go of everything that happened in the past. You cannot change what happened. You cannot live any time but today. The very fact that you made a choice and stuck to it, even just today, is a victory by any standard.
I suppose.
And as for being a mom, well, what can I tell you? I never thought I'd be a mom, and here we are. I never thought I'd be living on the moon. I never thought I'd feel the way I feel about you, about anyone. There's more than one way to become a mother. More than one way to fall in love with a tiny person who changes you forever.
I love you, Mom.
I love you too, baby.
I have to say, though, deciding to quit your job when you have the better part of 2 years to go on your shift kind of sucks.
If you think that's bad, think about how I felt when I realized that until we got the hydroponics going, the only coffee within 239,000 miles was freeze-dried instant with flavor crystals. Ugh. Indeed.
What are you doing down here? Good grief, you nearly gave me a frickin' heart attack.
I came to ask you for a prescription.
Are you sick? Your temperature is normal. Something you ate, maybe?
No, nothing like that. You see, I discovered that I'm having difficulty relaxing.
Well, I mean, I have some stuff that might help. We have some videos with meditation techniques, yoga, that sort of thing, and if that's not enough, I can give you some melatonin to help you sleep.
Nothing stronger?
Let me be clear, Lieutenant. It's in the crew's standing orders for us to be clear-headed at all times, in case of an emergency. If a crew member was ever to ask me for something stronger, I'd need to report that.
Of course.
I'll just send you those videos and forget the rest. And they really do help.
I'm sure they do. Have you ever been out there as part of the festival?
No, not my thing. I like to hang tight up here and watch movies. I'm doing a Robert Altman binge.
They look so happy, just dancing and free.
That's Stargravy for you. It'd make a 100-year-old catatonic dance like a 3-year-old on a caffeine jag.
Really seems like a simpler way to live.
Yeah, maybe. Do you need anything else? I'm in the middle of Nashville.
No, thank you, Doctor.
Who's that? Seamus? What are you doing in the commissary?
Well, don't mind me. I'm just making some oatmeal.
Wait a minute. If you're here, who's that on stage performing?
Oh, one of my 2 stand-ins. I put in an 8-hour day. Now it's their turn.
Wait. I thought you musicians just ate Stargravy and played non-stop.
Some may do that, but I'm an artist. If I tried to play all high like that, it would sound like dog poopy.
But like, you're the Seamus Stargravy. You don't use Stargravy?
I'm very careful with what I put in my body. Eat mostly plant-based stuff. Been on a real oatmeal kick lately. These days, my only genuine vices are black coffee and, of course, the endless groupies.
And the Stargravy name?
They named the stuff after me. I'm Seamus Sigmund Stargravy of the Connecticut Stargravies.
So you've been training stand-ins all along.
You bet. I got the idea from Elvis. He had all those impersonators after he died. I figured if he had them while he was still alive, he could have done twice the work, spent more time with his family. I'm fixing to do that after this tour. Next time, it's all stand-ins.
Consider my mind blown.
An active mind can tackle any problem. Now, may I offer you some oatmeal?
No, I'm good. Gotta get back to my quarters.
Yeah, probably best to clear out before the groupies find me. Uh-oh! Lady, please! I'm just one man! Let me finish my oatmeal!
Hi there. Why don't you dance with us?
May I? You mean you wouldn't mind?
More the merrier.
I guess. I guess I just don't know how.
Jethro, go get us some Stargravy.
All right.
Oh, no, thank you. I don't need any.
It won't hurt anything.
I'm just not sure I should.
Don't think so much. Ooh.
Oh, nobody's ever.
Life's too hard. It's time for you to relax.
Back. I brought one for each of us.
Feed her the gravy, Jethro.
Oh, but I'm.
Isn't that nice?
It's freaking amazing.
Can't you feel the music?
I can feel the music. I can feel it.
Can you feel this too? Yeah, baby, feel it. Feel it!
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
The rest of the journey to the practical pig was fairly uneventful. I made a point of spending more time with Rachel to make up for being so cold early on. She got me into Bob Altman, and we started playing contract bridge with Seamus Stargravy and his afternoon stand-in. A groovy time was had by all. I was feeling good about my decision to resign my commission once we got back to the moon. Getting through every waking hour would only feel like a struggle if I tried to swallow them all at once rather than day by day. Still, there was a lingering pang of regret that I was here, marking time at a job I hated, living in a place I couldn't stand. The pig looked no different from any other asteroid, despite its exoplanetary origins. Our revelers became workers, their dance floor transferred to the most exotic rock for thousands of miles in any direction. Under the influence of Stargravy, they worked so fast, the mass outside of my viewport visibly shrank in the time it took me to eat my dinner. As the pig diminished, my job changed to watching the hundreds of life signs to help Rachel bring in those who were crashing. Some were more cooperative than others. Then, one day, we detected a flash of energy coming from the direction of the pig.
Jethro? Look at this thing I found.
What is that? Did you pull that out of the stone?
Yeah. This doesn't look like a rock.
Let me look at it.
Hey, get your own.
I just want to look at it.
You're making me so freaking mad!
Hey, I'm so mad I can't even think right now.
Let go my thingy!
Who's that? Firing at us?
Ah, run away!
Hey, run away!
Did you see that spike in Sector 7?
I did. They appear to be coming in hot.
You know, it's times like this I wish I was a simple country doctor getting paid with chickens and stuff.
I don't know, Rach. It doesn't get more rural than a rock in the middle of nowhere.
Preparing some trinks. You know how wild they are when they get spooked.
I remember. I have sleep pods 178 and 179 ready for admission.
Roger that. Let's get at it.
Have I mentioned how good you look in your habitat suit?
No, but thank you. You look great too.
Hey, help! Help! Hey, help!
Here we go. Hey, come on in, you two. It's safe in here.
Get them to take off their suits. It's impossible to get these tranks into them otherwise.
Lady! Lady! Someone fired lasers at us!
Yeah, he was big and copper and scary looking, and he shot at me!
Oh boy. Let's get you out of those suits, okay?
I just can't. I just...
Dude, Misty hurt her so...
Calling not it on cleaning up her helmet.
I'll get the bleach.
Good evening, Captain.
Hi.
Working on another one of your crossword puzzles?
No. Where are your clothes?
I gathered all of my clothes and threw them out of the airlock, Captain dear.
That's so?
I took your advice, Captain, and relaxed. Every muscular knot released, every sinew, whatever sinews do.
You do look relaxed.
What's more, I got to the center of what was missing from my life. Do you want to know what it was? I'll tell you. What was missing was sex, eroticism, sin, lust, sensuality, the beast with two backs, the horizontal mambo doing it.
That's important stuff.
It is. It definitely is.
What happened to you?
It really doesn't matter. All I know is that I finally reached out and touched the face of God. I reached my hand all the way out and felt the holy countenance. And do you know what my fingertips found?
No. What?
He was giving me a leering wink. Yes, Captain, the guy upstairs is a dirty old man.
You don't say.
God didn't put us here to toil and worry. He put us here to let go and find joy.
Oh my.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
What is this thing?
Misty was gripping at something fierce in her glove. Looks like a ring.
Kind of big for a ring.
Maybe it belonged to that big copper monster that was shooting at them.
That was weird. Could it have been...
No way, Amy. You know how it gets when these folks hit sundown.
But they saw the same thing.
Amy, you've been where these two were. You know as well as I do that the verge of a Stargravy crash makes people hallucinate and susceptible to suggestion. One of them hallucinated the monster, and the other believed they saw the same thing. That's how mass hysteria works.
I get that. I still think...
I think I finally came down.
Stargravy is harsh.
You still respect me, don't you?
Of course.
I'm glad. Whew, that was really something, though. I feel stupid that I took the Stargravy now. All it did was make me want to do stuff I already wanted to do anyway.
Don't get hung up on that.
No?
We all mess up. Let it go. Move on.
I like that. Let it go. Move on.
Let all that junk go, baby.
Now, I told you all of that to tell you this. The first 11 months of the trip back to the moon were totally uneventful. Everyone but the 4 crew members went into their sleep pods. The captain and the lieutenant became increasingly familiar. The lieutenant grew much friendlier with all of us, and we all got together after dinner to play bridge. Rachel and I watched every single Katharine Hepburn movie, twice. My personal faves were The Lion in Winter, The Philadelphia Story, and The African Queen. Okay, I'm stalling. This part is a little scary, so I may be avoiding telling you. But it does have a happy ending, so please bear with me. It started one day when we noticed something wrong with one of the sleep pods.
These readings don't make any sense.
What do we do?
I mean, we have to open her sleep pod and check out what's going on.
Alright.
It's almost like she's not alone in there.
Don't mess with me with that alien stuff, Rachel.
Well, that's what the readings are.
Holy shit! Rachel, Misty's pregnant!
But that's impossible. I mean, the Stargravy is supposed to make everyone infertile during the flight. The sleep pod keeps the body in stasis. I mean, this shouldn't have happened.
Well, what do we do now?
My stomach! What's happening?
Rachel, remember when she puked in her helmet? What if that was morning sickness?
Coming out of stasis? She's going into labor, Amy.
No way!
Be cool. I can get us through this.
I hope so! You're the doctor! I just run the festival!
Am I having a baby?
What do I do?
We're not set up for birth. Get all of the clean towels and hot water we got.
On it.
It took hours. Misty screamed. I held her hand and helped her breathe. And Rachel managed to deliver a beautiful baby girl. It was a moment I couldn't believe that I was a part of. I'd spent 3 years mooning over the fact that I'd never experienced childbirth, to being a supporting player in the most unexpected birth since, well, there was this guy in the Middle East, but that's not important right now. The important part is that Rachel came to me with some bad news.
Look, Amy, we're not done here.
What do you mean?
Amy, a human body isn't meant to hold a baby for that long.
What's going to happen to her?
The baby is fine. It's a miracle. There's literally nothing wrong with her. But Misty barely got through it. She lost a lot of blood, and look, come in and talk to her.
What? I don't understand.
Just come in.
Hi. Isn't she beautiful?
She is. She's beautiful.
I'm jealous, you know.
You're beautiful too. You remind me of my mother.
I just took this job so that I wouldn't have to worry about money for a few months, you know. You know there's a risk and all, but I just never thought that
I don't know what to say.
Misty, tell her what we talked about.
Do you know what life is like for an orphan on the moon, Amy? Children are taken by the companies, Amy. They would take her and make her into some kind of slave. They steal children all of the time, any way they can. They make those children spend their lives working, or worse, much worse. You know what I mean. Nobody sees those children again, Amy.
What can I do?
Misty doesn't have long, Amy.
If I die, when I die, and this child has no mother to speak for her, she will be taken. None of us can let this happen.
You mean I would...
It can't be the brass. And my record, there was a surgery. It wouldn't check out. They would know with me.
But I can't.
You are the only one with the equipment, Amy.
Please. I know what I'm asking. Please. Be the mother of my child.
I will. I will be her mother.
Oh, thank you. Thank you both. Please stay with me and let me hold her. Let me hold her until I'm gone.
Misty passed a few hours later, and the conspiracy began. Rachel and I converted one of the sleep pods to hold the baby in peaceful stasis. A roaming infant on a space freighter seemed like the ultimate baby-proofing challenge. Not to mention that no one would believe that I gave birth to a 9-month-old baby just a month out from the moon. The stasis would keep her from growing too quickly. Next, I started putting spare clothes under my tunic to simulate the growing belly in order to fool the captain and the lieutenant. Rachel couldn't figure out how the conception happened in the first place. Stargravy is supposed to leave all of its consumers infertile for the many months of space travel. That's important, because the euphoria leads to plenty of impulsive decisions. I made quite a few of my own back in the day. It seemed possible that someone might have a physical constitution that could overcome Stargravy somehow. No method of birth control is perfect. But what were the chances that Misty and the father were both unaffected? Then I remembered. Who was on the ship who pointedly did not consume Stargravy? Here's a hint. He's 6'5", plays guitar, and dresses like a cross between Elvis Presley and Ziggy Stardust.
Hey there. Fancy seeing you here. I thought you'd be on another tour.
I gave that up when I got this little tyke.
Hey, a baby. Hello, baby.
I had a question for you, Seamus.
Sure. What do you want me to sign?
No, not an autograph. I was wondering if you happen to remember a groupie on tour. Name of Misty?
Well, that's a sore point. If I bothered to remember all the groupies, I would have no room for anything else in this big old noggin of mine.
Occupational hazard.
You could say that. You could say that. Same reason I got the vasectomy all those years ago before I became a rock god. You have to be responsible with your junk. My daddy told me that.
I thought you said you had a family.
I do. My mama, my crazy aunt, and about a dozen kids I adopted. Life's been good to old Seamus, so I like to spread the wealth with the little ones. I name all the boys Seamus, all the girls Priscilla, and all the MBs Elvis.
Then, if it wasn't you...
Sure is a cute baby you got there, little mama. Let me know if you ever need tickets or something.
I just can't figure it out.
As for you, little baby, I hereby baptize you in the name of the rock gods. You are hereby inoculated from both the rockin' pneumonia and the boogie-woogie flu. I'll be seeing you both around. Take care of business.
You too. Keep on keeping on, Seamus.
Rock and roll never dies, mama.
The thing about stories is that sometimes everything gets wrapped up neatly, and sometimes not. You can spend your whole life living in the past, getting tangled in regrets, mired in what could have been. Or you can take a step back, look at the bigger picture, and realize that everything you did got you to this point, with the people in your life that matter, living the life you've come to love. I can learn from my past and make good decisions that keep me from self-destruction. The reason I do that is for myself and my own well-being, but also because I have someone to take care of. Someone I thought I would be denied. So I am living in the present moment. I am living one day at a time. For myself and for my daughter. Her name is Catherine.
You have been listening to Exoplanetary, Stargravy. Written by C. Christopher Hart. Performed by
Alea Upton as Amy Wolverton.
Shandara Brizzee as Dr. Rachel Stone.
Conor Hearne as the pilot.
Skye Stafford as the co-pilot.
Stephanie Leet as Misty.
David Jacobs as Jethro.
Daniel D. Dowell as Seamus Sigmund Stargravy.
Paige McKinney as Angelica Wolverton.
Script consultant, Ash Freeman.
Produced by C. Christopher Hart.
Music provided by Jacob Jansen.
Stargravy music was composed and performed by Martin John Gallagher.
Sound effects by Danger Marshall.
This play, the characters, situations, and associated intellectual property, copyright 2023-2024 by C. Christopher Hart. All rights reserved. Recorded at the Willamette Radio Workshop Studio in sunny Portland, Oregon.